Welcome back, YouTube. This is Nasco. I'm from The Great Reset, and today we're talking about the moves Jeff Bezos and Amazon are doing in the space industry. And when I say the moves, I mean the big failures that they're experiencing right now. First off, I would like to apologize to all of you. I haven't uploaded in the last 3 weeks. The reason is I have a 10-month-old, I have another one on the way, I have a cranky girlfriend who's hormonal in the 3rd trimester, and when that happens, you're just not allowed to post stuff on YouTube. Simple as that. Now we're back to a regular scheduled programming, which is Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Blue Origin, and the failures they're experiencing, and how it's all playing out, and how I think it will keep on playing out. First off, Blue Origin lost their bid to have a human landing system on the moon. As soon as they lost it, they started making moves. Senator Cantwell from Washington State, which is where both Blue Origin and Amazon are based off, started whining how NASA needs to have more money so they can give it to Jeff Bezos so he can give her more money. This is pretty expected. This is gonna keep on happening. You're gonna keep on hearing those rumblings in the coming months. Second, Blue Origin filed a complaint, 170-some pages complaint, with the Government Accountability Office on why NASA chose SpaceX. Now, I haven't gone over the complaint, but I have gone over what NASA requested and what NASA got. So let me tell you why the Government Accountability Office will give one big, you know what type of finger to Blue Origin, and life will move on. First off, NASA requested a sustainable system. Blue Origin did not deliver a sustainable system. They delivered a system that needed to have new parts after every trip. Second of all, Dynetics, which was the other competitor, delivered a system that could land on the moon but could not take off. And SpaceX delivered a system that's within budget, that can land on the moon and take off, and it's completely reusable. The only thing you need to add for it to keep on functioning is fuel. In their decision, NASA has made a very clear point. They looked at 3 main areas on how to make their decision. The first area was the technical review. Basically, is your proposal technically sound? Of the 3 proposals that NASA received, only one was technically sound, and that was SpaceX's. Blue Origin's proposal was not technically sound because it was not sustainable. It was outdated even as they got it delivered, because Blue Origin told NASA, hey, 3 years later we're going to ask you for more money so we can actually give you a lander that can land 4 people, which is what the goal is in NASA's proposal. Blue Origin's proposal was not sustainable. It was not what NASA wanted, and therefore it was inadequate. The Dynetics proposal was inadequate because it could land, but it could not take off. It had negative mass. Number 2 was price. And number 3 was management. On management, only SpaceX received a really good review on management. Both Dynetics and Blue Origin received acceptable, which is basically, if you're in high school, or if you ever were in high school, that's a C. C+ at best. Now, in their decision, NASA state, the order of importance is number 1 and number 3 combined are way more important than number 2. Number 1 is technical review, number 2 is price, number 3 is management. So basically what NASA are saying in their decision, we did not go off of the price. If there were more than 1 competitors who would submit a technical review that we find good, that have good management, then we would look at price. But in that case, price was not even the factor, because the other technical review and management factors were only achieved by SpaceX. This is what the Government Accountability Office will look at. What did NASA ask for and what did NASA decide? Did they choose to spend more money on somebody who lobbied them more? No. Did they choose option that is not technically sound? No. Did they choose an option that has bad management? No. So all of the requests that NASA made before making a decision and before getting any proposals, and after they made the decision, are lining up to where there will be no issue with the funding for SpaceX. Now, what there is issue is that this whole review process by the Government Accountability Office will delay payments made to SpaceX for their Starship. Now, that delay will be used by Jeff Bezos, ULA, and all of the team members from the national team to use political leverage to increase NASA's funding so that NASA can choose a second contractor that is on top of SpaceX. NASA, in its request, said that if it had the funding, it would like to choose two contractors. It did not have the funding, so it chose only one. Again, it did not go outside its request. It just stated, kind of like a wink to Congress, hey, if you give me more money, we'll have two contractors. Congress said, no, thank you, just give us one. That's what NASA gave them. And while this is going on, SpaceX launched Starship and landed it, and now is making plans to relaunch it again into orbit in the next 3 or 4 months. Now, why am I saying the next 3 or 4 months? That's the target, but I want to point out something to you. Amazon has applied for a license for essentially a satellite constellation called Kuiper, which is a copycat, essentially a competitor of SpaceX's Starlink. Now, the whole plan was for Blue Origin to be able to launch the satellites into Earth orbit. But by their actions, you can tell that Blue Origin doesn't have the confidence of Amazon. Amazon went to ULA and paid them for 9 launches so they can get their satellite up and running on time. And when I say on time, they have until 2027 to launch their satellites in orbit, otherwise their license expires. 9 launches in 6 years is what Amazon paid for. SpaceX, meanwhile, just in the last 6 months, has had 18 launches, and depending on when you watch this video, it could be 28, it could be 38. But the point is, what Amazon paid ULA, which is a conglomerate between Lockheed Martin and Boeing, to do in 6 years, SpaceX did in the last 3 months. And at the same time, Amazon doesn't believe that Blue Origin can do what ULA has promised them to do in the next 6 years. This is to show you how far behind Blue Origin really is, behind SpaceX and behind ULA. The only success they've had is launch a rocket up to 100 kilometers and land it back down. If you don't think what I'm telling you is true, well, in fact, Jeff Bezos himself doesn't believe that Blue Origin is doing good. If he did, why would he go and try to recruit the COO of SpaceX, Gwen Shotwell, back in 2016 to be running Blue Origin? And the reasons given for why Blue Origin was looking for a new CEO was basically a lot of delays and a lot of explosions, which have been unreported until now. So Jeff Bezos doesn't believe Blue Origin is any good. NASA doesn't believe that Blue Origin is any good. Amazon doesn't believe that Blue Origin is any good. In fact, NASA believes that Boeing and ULA, two old-school government leeching contractors, are better than Blue Origin, a new, supposedly lean startup company that has existed for less than 20 years, is slower, more bureaucratic, and worse than ULA. A company that is used to working on cost-plus contracts from the government. So Blue Origin might not be along for this world. Blue Origin came out with a new product. And that product is, you go in one of their rockets that goes up to 100 kilometers an hour, you hover there for 10-15 minutes, you get some weightlessness, and you come back down. And for that particular product, Blue Origin expects you to bid for it. Now, my expectation is, maybe for the first 1 or 2 flights, they might get some bids, they might not, but it's going to be an extremely unsustainable business. It's not going to make any money. Here is my expectation. Starship is going to go to orbit. It won't land the first few times. After that, it's going to start landing. The SpaceX already has a contract with Tom Cruise to shoot a movie in the International Space Station. something that's supposed to be done by the end of this year, maybe early next year. But this whole thing will bring so much publicity, including how much it actually cost the production of the movie. And people are going to start comparing, is it worth it for me to give millions of dollars to Blue Origin to hover in weightlessness for 10 minutes versus giving millions of dollars to SpaceX to go to the International Space Station? So that business will die immediately. Obviously, Amazon has inside information on how good Blue Origin is doing. And they don't believe that in the next 6 years, Blue Origin will be able to launch 9 times to low Earth orbit to deliver satellites, which is why they chose ULA. So, in my estimation, Blue Origin will probably be done with by the end of 2022, especially after the Government Accountability Office tells them, hey, NASA didn't do anything wrong. When ULA starts launching rockets with Amazon satellites to low Earth orbit, and when Jeff Bezos basically gets sick and tired of spending billions of dollars to pseudo-engineers, pseudo-bureaucrats wasting his money. It's going to be one of those companies that one day just stops issuing press releases, stops making videos, and a couple years down the road, somebody will say, oh yeah, it's dead. But this is my expectation. If by the end of this year, Blue Origin doesn't have some kind of a success, and in that same year, Elon Musk launches orbital Starship, he shoots a movie in space, especially when the costs start leaking of how much that cost, Blue Origin is done. Space tourism is already happening, but it's not happening under Blue Origin's brand name. Launching satellites is not happening under Blue Origin's brand name. Sending people to the moon is not happening under Blue Origin's brand name. So essentially, Blue Origin has no reason to exist. And Jeff Bezos might just say, screw it, I'm done with space. Elon Musk spanked me, and I'm out. But Blue Origin, in my mind, is dead. They obviously have made good engines. Those engines will be used by ULA's new rockets. But making an engine and making reusable rockets are two different things. And Blue Origin has failed at everything but making engines. This is my prediction for Blue Origin. Give it a year and a half. It's dead. Jeff Bezos will start some kind of a new partnership, maybe to mine asteroids, but Blue Origin, the way we know it now, will be announced dead within 18 months from now. Today is May 16th. You can hold me accountable to that. Thank you very much. My name is Nasco. Hopefully I connected some dots for you. Have a great day.